Hello YouTubers, co-creators, how are you doing today? Lilou, it's now Friday. I wanted to do a video about positive thinking versus the law of attraction, because those are two very different things that I think sometimes we have a misconception of, and I realized how much I had a misconception of it because recently I was made redundant in my job, and so from there I started looking at the figures and the searches that were happening on Google, and I did a whole video about that, and really I got present to how many people actually lost their job and how more people are searching online. And this might not appear to a surprise to a lot of you, but for me to realize to that extent, I realized by that same meme that I was quite protecting myself from the outside world and not fully living 100% in the reality of things, kind of wanting to protect myself, you know, and thinking positive and all that. But frankly, the law of attraction doesn't get its power from just separating ourselves from what is currently happening. I'm not a believer in the media. I think the media picture only what they want to show us, but I want to say to you, and this is something I'm taking on, you know, to look at what is actually really happening in the world. And there's some people that are doing extraordinary blogs, and the internet is definitely one of the biggest resources to really find the real data on what's currently happening, not through your channel and what, you know, the different channels want really to say, which ultimately are, you know, governments. It's just the government wanting to submit a particular idea. But when you look at some blogs from worldwide, you know, from every single perspective, and especially in this era, like, we have that power in our hands to really get the good stuff. And I was just reading, you know, some just like scary news, but at the same time very grounding, and such as, you know, possibly a war happening between South Korea and North Korea that would then put China against the US, or tons of French people right now that are trading in the city and that are now getting Social Security from France, you know, 75 of their salary from France, so now they're leaving the UK and going back to France. Just on and on, there's a lot of those news, but those are some of the real news that we don't hear every day. And just being present to that and being okay and not pretending it's not there, but just feeling comfortable, then I feel like I have gained a tremendous power, you know, and I can really be there. I was honestly tempted to just go back to France, go to live with my parents, you know, and just to be safe. And then I'm like, no, you know what? I've lost my job, and I'm able to not just attract any kind of job, but the job of my dreams. And, you know, and through this process unfolding, I'm really discovering that, you know what, I love being self-employed. I loved it. I had so much energy, and this is probably how I felt, you know, in the moment where my previous employer told me, your job has become redundant. Then all of a sudden I felt free again, and I think there's so much to be said about that. And it's about feeling good and allowing ourselves in those moments where we are confronting such a news to the reality, okay, being okay with it, and doing whatever is needed, you know, a walk, or going to the gym, or really letting all this out if there is some anger there. For me, I was blessed not to, because I love those challenges and those risks, but at the same time I have my fears, you know, and those fears are coming from inside. It's not coming from outside the media or whatever. I'm choosing to allow this to affect myself. So now I feel very much empowered, in tune, and confident about definitely staying in London, definitely keeping in this energy and seeing actually what's happening, instead of going to my parents and being in this little cocoon and not really seeing how things are. No, that's not the answer. You know, the answer is here. The answer is within. The answer is from allowing to feel good and kind of running that wave. It's about making declaration. I'm declaring that I will attract an iMac computer, 24-inch, that I need to get on with all those wonderful projects I have in mind. So, you know, asking for higher guidance, and reading, feeling your soul, nurturing yourself, eating some food that makes you feel good. Doesn't mean, like, you know, just staying in this little cocoon bubble of positivity. This is not where it's happening. And right now, years ago after the crisis, there was this big internet revolution, and now it's the time for another type of revolution to happen. And how about if this revolution was about the revolution of human beings and what it takes to be an extraordinary human being?